What is up, winning team? And sorry that it's taken me so long to do what I said I would do, which is to start reading through the Quran. I wanted to wait through for the time when the Lord gave me the push to say it is time. So here we are. If you don't know what this is day one of us reading through the Quran. There are what I'm not sure what they're called. They all say al in front of them. So I'm assuming they're like chapters kind of thing. It's a table of contents. There are 114 of them to go through. So pretty much we're going to read one per day, and I'm just going to comment on what we'll read. We'll see how many we'll read. Oh, wait a second. There's this thing called surah. Oh, wait a minute. Bear with me a minute, guys. Okay. Oh, the family of, I'm learning already. Okay, so let's just start reading and we'll just go with it. Before we crack into this, just to say as a word of respect to the Muslim community, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm genuinely curious to get to know for myself, because as somebody who believes in God, somebody who believes in the Bible, I believe that if you're going to believe whatever you believe, you should be open to critique and open to actually studying the other things that you claim you don't believe, right? So I don't want to be an ignoramus. So that's why we're doing this. It starts off here with the editor's introduction. Now, I will say that I know from the other video I said the Muslim community very lovely came through to tell me that obviously this would be better in Arabic, which it actually says here. So I'm just going to start reading. It says, the Quran is no ordinary book. To Muslims, this is the editor's introduction. To Muslims, it is the eternal word of God, Allah, dictated to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be with him, via the angel Jibril, originally revealed in Arabic. Its style is unrivaled, its language eloquent, its meaning deep. So this is fascinating already to me, because first of all, I'm just thinking that the thing that interests me about this is that we'll come back to what interests me about this. Let's just keep reading. But we'll come back. We'll keep reading. Originally revealed, yes, it is beyond any translation to render all this riches of expression in another language. Yet the Quran is primarily a book of guidance and must therefore be accessible to those who seek the truth contained in it. So pretty much what they're saying is that, this isn't the way to read it. You need to really be reading it in Arabic to it to be read properly. I respect that. I wish Christians had more of that energy, to be honest with you. And I can understand, because I definitely know that reading the parts of the Bible in the languages they were written in, particularly Hebrew, brings a completely different meaning. And I think the English language is a horrible language. I think the English language is a large part in why people are having issues with God, because there's a lot of misconceived notions. So that's really interesting. That they've said that, but yet they must therefore be accessible to those who seek the truth contained in it, which is something I think we were in agreement about. It says, whilst a translation cannot be an authoritative replacement of the original, it can make the meaning of its verses available to non-Arabic speaking readership. So that's similar with the Bible, as in, like, obviously God's not going to just torture us and then be like, hi, lol, you can't read the Bible because you don't know Hebrew, but on all the other languages, the Greek, the Aramaic, etc. But at the same time, it would be better if in that way, if you know what I mean. But it doesn't stop you from gaining the truth, which is what they're saying here. So that's interesting. That's an interesting crossover that I didn't necessarily expect. The verses, ayahs of the Quran, were revealed through the 23 years of Prophet Muhammad's prophethood, often in connection with events of the time. They were then memorized, recorded in writing, collected and arranged into chapters, surahs. So a surah is a chapter. If anybody wants to correct my pronunciation in the comments, I'm so more than happy. Within those verses, we find narratives describing the creation of the world from the earliest times, or recounting the missions of earlier prophets. We come across general exhortation to belief and righteous conduct, and we are given the tools and principles for reflection and sound judgment in a multitude of life's situations, and we receive detailed rulings on important aspects of criminal and civil law. Thus, the Quran is not only a text of inspiration, but also the foundation of the legal and social structure of Islamic society. Now, the interesting thing I have to say here, and I feel like this is all going to become me and just thinking about how this relates differently to the Bible, because I find it fascinating, right? Is this, I would actually say, is true of the Bible as well. It's just that, again, unfortunately, the Christian community is not doing that, because even if you look in the Bible with Moses, Moses was the first judge. Moses then was instructed by his father-in-law that, look, you need to pick these types of men in order to help support you to manage the people of God. In fact, I won't even get into further with that. And the purposes of that were exactly this. And actually, there were a lot of things that God outlined to the Israelites specifically as to how they were to live in their new life once they crossed over to the promised land. Another thing I don't often hear people talking about, one of which being the 7 feasts of the Lord that are written in the Bible, the actual feast of the Lord, like Rosh Hashanah, the one I was telling you guys about, which is when I asked God for my new transformation, right? The 15th to 17th of September, starting on the Sabbath, finishing on the 17th. So I find that fascinating. Also, I've written a book breaking that all down for mums who want to implement it into their family. If anybody wants to help me, like, proofread it, because I can't be proofreading all that. I'm not good at English. Anyway, the text of the Quran has not changed since the days of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be with him, received this revelation, yet its contents retains its relevance, validity, and dynamics, and continues to inspire believers of every generation, as well as challenge the status quo of human society. Okay. The convincing observations of the Quran, which are, after all, are a communication from our Maker, are a powerful call to action and a rebuttal of complacency. Okay. They appeal to both the mind and the heart of the reader or listener. They call for justice and compassion. They decree, it could be decree, who knows, guys, because, yeah, and defy falsehood, pretense, and oppression. They represent an uncomfortable truth for those who would like to banish the courage of one's conviction and do not want to use our intellect and power of reflection to guide us along our path in life. If there is any Muslim people who watch this, what I would like to ask you guys, I'm sure it'll be revealed eventually, but I may as well just ask while we're here. What is the purpose of being alive as far as Islam is concerned? That is what I would love to know the answer to, because I know, I would just love to know the answer to that. Although produced, and again, I've said this before, don't come telling me stuff if you're not actually reading the Quran and practicing Islam, because, we don't do that. Over here, we talk to the people who are serious about what they believe, or at least wanting to be. If you fit into those 2 categories, you're welcome. Yeah. Okay, great. Although produced nearly a century ago, Yusuf Ali's translation of the meaning of the Holy Quran has not lost its power of conveyance. So that's the person who, if I'm not mistaken, yes. So the guy who translated this exact one that I'm reading. Where is it? In spite of the difficulties of finding suitable equivalents between the expressions of Semitic language like Arabic and a Roman language like English, the translator has taken every care to produce a fluent and rich representation of the message of the Quran, whilst retaining as much of its poetry and eloquence as possible. His first translation was published side by side with the Arabic text and with an extensive commentary. In this edition, only the English translation is published to reduce the size of the volume and make it more accessible as a paperback for general use. I should so get that one then. I so need to get that one, because I would rather have that one. So if I haven't got that one, guys, if you haven't heard in a couple of videos that I've ordered of these, please remind me. This edition is based on the revised text produced by a paperback. Produced by the Young Muslims, YM, in which some of the more archaic terms have been replaced by modern equivalents. This text was then checked and carefully revised once more by Dr. Sahib Mastaqim Blecher on behalf of IDCI, who I don't know who that is. Let me see if I can see that anywhere. Oh, I found it. The Islamic Dawah Center International. Anyone wishing to reproduce this present edition is kindly requested to get in contact with us first. Fair enough. So that was the introduction. I'm not sure if I should start reading now or if I should just leave us on the introduction. Actually, we will, because the first chapter, which is called a surah, I now know, Al-Fatiha, the opening. Oh, I see. Okay, we're already learning. Or at least read that one, because I really want to take the time to I don't want to rush through them. I'd rather really spend the time in understanding, right? So this one is a small one. So the first chapter, Al-Fatiha, the opening, Surah 1. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, most gracious, most merciful. I would love to... Okay. Master of the day of judgment, you do we worship and your aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those whom you have bestowed your grace, those whose portion is not wrath and who go not astray. Interesting. So this has started out kind of as in a declaration of praise to Allah. That I find really fascinating. This is going to be such an interesting book. What I have to say so far is that one thing I have to say that I truly do respect about the Muslim community, one thing that I find interesting, let's start with this. One thing I find interesting is this editor's introduction, because I find it interesting that you're being kind of given the context in which to receive the information, which for me makes me question how you're able to make your own judgment if somebody's already kind of told you what way to look at what you're looking at, if that makes sense. I get where they're coming from as far as, obviously, this is what this is what we believe to help you as somebody coming into a belief system. But on the flip side, I also question, like, well, at the same time, you're taking away the full right to someone, I would argue the God-given right to someone to make their own judgment, because that's part of free will, right? And so, yeah, that I find a little bit interesting. What I do respect about the Muslim community, which I have to say very, very early on, is I do feel in general a stronger sense of adherence and knowledge to the text versus other religions, even Christianity, because I do believe that a lot more is people who call themselves Muslim really at least know some stuff or more stuff about what they're doing sometimes, and are more what's the word? I'm trying to be so careful with the words I use, because I know that when you start talking about religion, people get really sensitive. More, what's the word? Stern? I'm not sure what the word is, guys, but unwavering. There we go. More unwavering, which I think is good, because I think if you're in a belief system, you should be not completely unwavering, but you should be rooted in it. So you shouldn't just be blowing with the wind with the changes of the world around you, right? Which we do unfortunately see a lot in other religions. So yeah, we're going to leave it there. This is going to be so interesting. You guys let me know what you thought of this. Let me know what you think of the idea of me even doing something like this. Am I crazy? A lot of Christian people would be very, very mad right now. They're like, how could you do that? She's really, like, some people that know me, the people that already want to see my downfall will be like, oh, you see, she's going Muslim. They'll be the ones saying, oh, she's turning Muslim, she's turning Scientologist, she's turning this, she's lost her way. That, or maybe I'm just somebody who actually wants to study the things that I believe in and allow the things I believe in to be critiqued, so that I don't just blow with the winds of change of this crazy universe that we're all living in at the moment, and this very wild world. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know your thoughts. If you are a Muslim person and you're commenting, please let me know that you are, just so that I know and I can ask questions. Feel free to throw out there what you want to say. Like I said, I do not mean in any way, shape, and form to be disrespectful to you guys' culture or to your scriptures or anything. What I actually think would be amazing in the future is for us to be able to all have a serious debates amongst knowledgeable, practicing people, if that makes sense, as opposed to just immediate division, because whatever the truth is shall hold up for itself. I believe the truth will always stand for itself. And if you are somebody who's from the winning team, please don't panic. We're just reading through the Quran. it's all good. It's all fine. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm enjoying this. And I will be going on a fast. I am going to be starting a fast as well tomorrow as part of all of this stuff. So anyways, guys, if life's a game, let's play to win. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.